Hello, Miss Treadway here again. We are starting paragraph proofs today. So further down the line, we are going to be working with two-column proofs, but we are starting out with paragraph proofs. And one thing to know about paragraph proofs is they are like a good English essay. It should contain an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So what goes in each of those parts? Your introduction should include any given conditions and any conclusion that can immediately be drawn from the conditions provided in the problem. Then, after you've written your introduction, you move on to the body, and this is where you will write and solve any equations, and then complete steps that lead us to the conclusion. And after you have done your body, you move on to the conclusion, which is where you summarize your proof and include any definitions or theorems that show that you have proved what you were asked. So let's look at this example here. So in example 1, we're given both of these two diagrams, this diagram, and we're asked to prove that angle DBC is congruent to angle E. And now remember, congruent angles have the same measure. So what we need to prove here is that angle DBC and angle E have the same measure. So starting, this proof has already been written out for us, so let's look through this. This is where the proof starts, and it says, according to the diagram, angle ABC is a straight angle, because remember, we can assume that. Therefore, we can say that 2x plus x, these two angle measures, equal 180, because a straight angle is 180. Well, then I work this algebra problem. I combine my like terms and then divide, and I find that x is equal to 60. Well, if x is 60, then that means that angle DBC is equal to 60 degrees, and I'm told in my diagram that angle E is 60 degrees. So since angle DBC is 60 and angle E is 60 degrees, the angles are congruent, because if two angles have the same measure, then they are congruent. And so down here at the bottom of the page, it asks us to highlight and identify the introduction, the body, and conclusion, and then the definition. So let's start with the introduction. I'm going to highlight that in yellow. And remember, your introduction is your given conditions and conclusions that can be drawn. So we're given the diagram, and we can conclude that ABC is a straight angle. So that is my introduction. Next, I'm going to highlight my body in blue. And remember, the body is steps to solve an equation and steps that lead you to your conclusion. So where I worked this algebraic problem, that is my body. And then lastly, I'm going to highlight my conclusion in pink. And remember, your conclusions summarize the proofs and include supporting definitions or theorems. So here at the bottom, we say because DBC is 60 and E is 60, they are congruent. Because if two angles have the same measure, they are congruent. So what's our definition? I'll box that in green. That is, if two angles have the same measure, they are congruent. That is our definition. And so that is the completed breakdown of our first example. So let's work two more together now. All right, looking at example 2 now. I'm given this diagram, and I'm told that angle 1 is 20 degrees, angle 2 is 40 degrees, and angle 3 is 30 degrees. And it wants me to prove that angle XYZ is a right angle. Now remember, a right angle is equal to 90 degrees. So what I need to prove is that angle XYZ is 90 degrees. So let's make sure we're writing out our introduction, body, and conclusion. So starting with our introduction, remember that's what we can assume from the diagram and any conditions we're given. Well, from the diagram, I can conclude, according to the diagram, forgot how to spell, according to the diagram, angle XYZ is equal to the sum of angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. Therefore, now in my body, I'm going to start working problems and calculations. So if I know that angle XYZ is equal to angle 1 plus 2 plus 3, then I can plug in the values I was given. So angle XYZ is equal to 20 degrees plus 40 degrees plus 30 degrees. And 20 plus 40 plus 30 is equal to 90 degrees. So angle XYZ is 90 degrees. So now I can conclude, since angle XYZ is equal to 90 degrees, it is a right angle. And then I need to include my definition, because a right angle is equal to 90 degrees. And that is the complete proof for example 2. Okay, and then we are moving on to our last example for these notes, example 3. We are again given the diagram, and then we're told angle 1 is equal to x plus 7, angle 2 is 2x minus 3, angle ABC is equal to x squared, and angle D is equal to 5x minus 4. And I'm wanting to prove that angle ABC is congruent to angle D. So in order to do that, I need to solve for x first. So we're going to write our proof, again starting with the introduction with what we're given. So according to the diagram, I can conclude that angle ABC is equal to the sum of angle 1 and angle 2. Therefore, I can say that x squared is equal to x plus 7 plus 2x minus 3. So now I need to solve this equation. So I'm going to combine my like terms on the right side, and I get 3x plus 4. And now this is going to end up being a quadratic. So I need to solve this by factoring or the quadratic formula. So I want to get everything on the same side. So I'm going to move over the 3x and the 4. And we get x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. So now I need to factor. So when I factor this with my double parentheses, that gives me x minus 4 and x plus 1. And then to solve for x, I have to set each parentheses equal to 0. And when I solve each of those, I get that x could be positive 4 or negative 1. Now, only one of these is going to be a possible solution, and I need to test out which one. So I'm going to plug in negative 1 to one of these expressions and determine if it gives me a positive value, because we only have positive angle measures. So if I plug this in for the measure of angle 2, remember, is 2x minus 3. So if x is equal to negative 1, then angle 2 would be 2 times negative 1 minus 3, and that would give me negative 5. So x cannot be negative 1. So I'm going to use my value x equals 4. And now I'm going to plug it in for angle ABC and for angle D to see if they are congruent. So angle ABC is equal to x squared. So that would be 4 squared, which is 16. And angle D is equal to 5x minus 4. So that would be 5 times 4 minus 4, which is equal to 20 minus 4, which is 16. All right, and I was running out of room, so I have just grabbed the second piece of paper so I can complete my proof. And so, since angle ABC equals 16 degrees and angle D equals 16 degrees, they are congruent. Because, remember, I need to include my definition, because if two angles have the same measure, then they are congruent. And that is the completed proof. Oops. And that is the completed proof for example 3.